What's up? This is Sports Sam, MLB Promotions 2025. Let's chat about it.
Yeah, we're going to start with the AL Central. Chicago White Sox giving away uh, best item. Oh, sorry, hold on.
What are they giving away? Come on, don't leave me on the edge of my seat.
I can't read too good, so this isn't new to me.
Yeah.
They're giving away a 1959 Comiskey Park radio. So it is a replica of Comiskey Park, and it acts as an AM FM radio. Check this out.
What year is it?
1959.
No, I meant now. Who the fuck is gonna use this thing, dude?
I think this is the coolest item we've seen so far. So June 28th.
No, it's cool as shit, but no one's gonna use it.
It'll be a little. It's probably first of all, it's probably made out of like toxic plastic, which is fine because that's what a lot of this stuff is anymore. June 28th game against the San Francisco Giants. First 10,000 fans will receive this figurine replica of Comiskey Park. The year this. Okay, here he goes. Here's why. It was the year the Sox lost to the Dodgers in the World Series.
So they made a replica of that.
Yeah,
They want to remember that year.
It's a sad franchise when you're giving away an item from when you lost.
Yeah, they're like, we really need to commemorate that year that we got fucked.
This reminds me of a story a Chicago-based writer put out. I think it was for Sports Illustrated about about the woes of being a Chicago sports fan, and the article is basically about how no franchise in Chicago has won a championship in close to 50 years, or since 80, was it 84 or 86 when the Bears won the big famous Super Bowl, whatever. But they had forgot that the Chicago White Sox won in 2006. So they didn't even remember that the Chicago White Sox had won a World Series, and they got completely left off the list. So instead,
why don't they make a radio about that?
because it'd be like a Sirius satellite radio for 2006, something like early 2000s, like a MySpace page for the championship.
You make a replica MySpace page,
Is
you
right.
get invited to it.
Yeah, you could be in your top 8.
Yeah, and then they play like "We Are the Champions." That's their song.
When did the Chicago White Sox?
Because every sports team in existence, they have to play that song when they win, right?
Yeah, well, that one and Sweet Caroline. I think.
Yeah.
I'm in Pittsburgh now, so Pitt always plays that song, and they think it's theirs for some reason, but absolutely every
That's
other
odd. That's really
college
weird.
on the East Coast uses that.
For some reason, that makes total sense for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just kind of does. That's
Correction, 2005 was when the White Sox. I didn't even remember when they won the World Series.
Yeah, I don't keep up with Chicago. I'm not gonna lie. Watching the Blackhawks ruin their NHL season was pretty amazing, though. That was that was fun.
I know nothing about them or how bad they have done.
Now they got Connor, who's supposed to be like super amazing, and then they're just
that little boy.
Yeah, the kid.
Yeah,
they're all kids, but like
we're getting so old.
Yeah. Well, you say that, but I mean, like, they bring them in so young these days. I mean, like, even the Rangers just brought in Gabe, and he's, like, not even done with college. Could you imagine when you went to college if they were like, hey, I got to, like, not finish my classes because I just got called up to the NHL?
Yeah, first of all,
you know what
you're
I mean?
20. Here's $1 million. Also, you have to give up everything you're doing to play this sport and not be a total screw up.
Yeah. Okay, well, we digress a bit there. I'm not gonna lie, the radio is pretty cool. I know I kind of talk shit about it. I think it's cool. I enjoy a good radio, as silly as that probably sounds, but I just don't get it for this. I think it is cool, but I don't get it. Like I get that play-by-play and announcement and radio has been huge in sports, absolutely necessary, and still is something that is necessary. I mean, look at us chatting about this kind of stuff, right? Like, but the advent of television and just the accessibility of even social media has made radio just seem like a very distant thing. And maybe it's just I'm not in the right circles. I just don't consume my media that way anymore. And it's an interesting choice that the White Sox picked an outdated thing to like give away as a freebie.
Yeah,
Interesting.
probably because it's obviously cheaper to make now. I
Mm.
guess I'm wondering when the first team makes the TV and gives it away for free. That'll be a big one. My
The portables.
Yeah, my main question is why 1959? When they lost
Yeah,
it, I'm guessing there's some sort of historical moment where it was on the radio and it was a big historical call. Like I totally makes sense. But they also won the World Series in 1917 when they were still using Comiskey Park. I don't know why you would have to because you could just have Comiskey Park and be like, no, it's from 1917, not 1959.
yeah,
This
it
is a
commemorates
good
when
one
we
when we
won the
won.
series. Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. And it could be
instead,
described with like the win and that kind of stuff on it.
instead they're gonna celebrate the loss, which is
Very fascinating. Good
very
for them. I mean, hey, you pick the culture you want and you push it, right?
yeah.
So they chose losing, and that's odd to me, but
Yeah. Don't let this toxic need, to feel the need to win all the time. Like, you're losers. Stay that way. Like, be you. You know?
yeah.
Good for you. Good for Chicago.
Not gonna lie, I'm looking ahead, and this one's pretty cool.
All right, we have the Detroit Tigers giving away a Stars jersey. Is that right? The Tigers are honoring the Detroit Stars, which were founded in 1919, who played in the Negro National League, though they didn't join the league until 1920. I don't
Yeah,
know
and
why
that's
you have to. If they were founded in 1919, I don't know why it matters. That's just the article. It doesn't really matter. But the Tigers, in fact, have worn these jerseys in their own games in the past to honor the Stars. So the
oh,
first,
that's sick. I did not
yeah,
know that.
I didn't either. First 15,000 fans on June 14th will receive their own Stars jersey. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I actually really like this one, and that's why I was looking ahead a little bit when we were going on about our FM radio there. And I was like, this is actually really cool. And I'm a little upset that I won't be able to go to Detroit and grab one. And this is something that I would probably like wear around, and it'd actually be cool to have. And I don't know, I just think it's really, really cool that they're looking back at their history and trying to find a way to honor and just try to find a way to honor that. I mean, I don't really know how else to say that. I think it's a really cool item. And I mean, if I wanted to be really picky, I probably like would get Detroit to pop a bit more on the front of it, but yeah, and that's me being picky. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like with the colors, this feels like a really cool giveaway.
Yeah, I noticed the
Yeah,
R for some reason is in white where everything else is in red. I don't know the significance of that, of course. The back says
yeah,
1919 to signify the year they started. I think it's a really neat color, like a faded navy, like jean blue. Looks like faded
yeah.
jeans almost. Pretty neat. Detroit D's on the back there as well.
Pretty sick. I like that one. I think that's a cool one.
Decent giveaway.
Yeah, that's a decent giveaway, I think. Ooh, this next one though.
Kansas City Royals are giving away a George Brett and Bret Saberhagen bobblehead. Well, there are plenty of World Series anniversary bobbleheads for Kansas City this season, as the franchise is celebrating both a 10-year and a 40th year anniversary of winning the World Series. The 10-year anniversary, I can't believe that already came up. I'm a New York Mets fan. They beat the Mets in the World Series that year. That was disappointing. So I
Hmm.
hate it. I don't like it at all.
That's how I feel about this bobblehead.
Yeah, right. Seems like a really classic moment. I guess we should probably. I don't. No one really talks about the Kansas City Royals. They kind of go on a run once every 30 years it looks like,
I suppose,
and then
yeah, right.
and then they win the World Series. So who
Yeah.
knows?
Well, I guess what I'm getting at with this one here is that it does feel like it's a snapshot of probably a moment that happened on field during that win. So I think it's very it seems intimate in a way, in that you really have to know the history of the team and of that win to appreciate this bobblehead. I otherwise I personally don't like it, just because it seems weird, and I don't know how their heads are actually going to bobble.
I didn't even
Just
think about
looking at it,
that. Yeah, if
like
it would have been one thing if they could have gotten the moment they kissed, like the two heads are
yeah,
going to bobble. Just
bloop bloop bloop, and they just make out.
that would
Yeah.
have been nice. Would have had some national appeal instead of just regional Kansas City stuff. Let's see.
If you push a button, it plays "Born This Way."
Yeah. You know what you can do though
Yeah.
is you could put the video of that moment right here. Is it done? Do you
All
see
right,
it?
they
Okay,
kissed. They're
that's the
good. You're
bobblehead.
good.
There it is. Minnesota Twins. Wow. This is really neat. So the Minnesota Twins are giving away a reversible Prince jersey.
Oh, I'm looking at it. That's actually pretty gnarly. Yeah. Okay, I got opinions.
Okay,
Continue
go.
though.
Yeah. Okay. So let me see. The Twins will honor the musician with Prince Day on June 10th. The
Okay.
Twin site does not indicate how many shirts will be available, but they are reversible, with one side being fully purple and the other being much more colorful with his iconic Prince signature. What do you think?
I don't like the reverse, but I really do like the purple and white. I think that's really cool. I think it's a clever idea to try to make a reversible for the Twins, but I feel like they should have just reversed the colorways.
Hmm.
Um, because like, hear me out on this. Like, I think that reverse side that's real colorful and has all that pop, you lose the Twins and the Prince logo in it. And so it makes for a really cool interior fabric look. You know, when you get like an overcoat that has like a nice um what do they call, or what are they called? I'm blanking on the pattern name. But it's like the same pattern that's on bandanas and that
Paisley.
kind of stuff.
Is it
Yeah.
Paisley?
Yeah, yeah. It reminds me of that in a way. I know it doesn't look like that, but it
Yeah.
like, I imagine when you're wearing this Twins, if you had it open and unbuttoned, that color pop will look really cool inside, but reversing it, I just feel like it doesn't work.
I,
That colorway, it just looks like a lot of noise.
yes, I found a higher res. Not that it matters for this video at all, but yeah, it looks like it's wildflowers.
Oh,
Just a
that's
collection of
interesting.
wildflowers. I I happen to love it. I do understand
Yeah.
where you're coming from because you do lose the twins and the prince, but the fact that it is reversible, so you could kind of like rock with both, is really creative. Um, a great way to honor Prince. I think it's one of the top ones in this category for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And that's a fair assessment. And yeah, I agree with you. This one, I like it a lot. It's another one of those where, yeah, I would rock this. I'd wear it for sure. You know,
I almost like the reverse side more. I almost like the wildflower side more. I think that's would be the main reason I would get it, as opposed to just. I mean, I'm not a Twins fan, of course, but like having the Prince symbol in the back, a very large font, is really neat. But it kind of fits the aesthetic of what Minnesota has sort of become in honoring Prince. I think that's a hell of a giveaway. Kind of surprising.
yeah, I agree with you. That's a cool one. They put some effort into that one.
What the fuck is this? The Cleveland Guardians are giving away a City Connect Stephen Kwan hat. So the first 15,000 lucky fans in attendance on May 10th will receive this hat.
Um, I think it's interesting that they're considered lucky fans.
Yeah. I do think the concept of having a high res photo on the underside of a bill of a cap with sort of an autograph look on it is interesting.
Yeah.
I think the actual hat itself is gaudy.
Yeah,
It
this is
looks
ugly.
terrible color pattern. I really kind of hate it actually. But anything besides the hat, and if the autograph is already, yeah, no, it is there. The signature is already on it, so it's
Yeah,
just a
it's just in
printed
the photo.
signature. Like maybe you go and get his signature. I think that might make this ugly hat worth something. Um, but other than that, I really don't like it.
Have him sign over his own signature there, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think this is another one of those where there was an idea and they just didn't execute. You know, and I'm a hat guy. I got a lot of hats. I really do enjoy having options to just throw on a hat on days when I don't want to deal with my hair, or if I don't want to like have to care in general. It's just like, and hats are so ingrained into sports. I'm sure we'll end up doing hat episodes when we get into like, you know,
It's a good idea.
there's just so many options and other things to do there, to talk about, because there's a whole culture around it. Same with like sneakers and shoes and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah, this I don't know, the font, the CLE to me kind of actually is cool. I don't actually mind that. It's just something about the colors I just don't care for, and then that image gets lost on the underbill, and it just like I agree with you, it's gaudy. It just like it doesn't work.
It yeah. It looks like a NASCAR driver's hat. It looks like the hats they would wear with the 38 there. I don't like it.
This one definitely for me is a F.
Yeah,
I
if the signature was even real, like if he signed, I don't know how, like 5,000 of these and they were given away, I mean, value goes up there. But to have a fake printed signature over him jogging around the bases is a bad move. Missed the mark for me.
Yeah, and it's really fascinating that this giveaway apparently is on their Armed Forces Night, and kind of has like it feels like it has nothing to do with the Armed Forces unless like Steven was involved and I'm just ignorant.
Oh,
Totally valid, could be a thing, but yeah, I just that's a very Cleveland thing to do. We'll we'll leave it at that.
wow, that's so weird. Why would they do it on Armed Forces Night? I don't think he was even a person who served, I guess you
Yeah,
could
I
say.
it seems a little arbitrary to me. Cleveland needs to get their shit together. It's like
Come on, Cleveland.